Okay, I have a brand new effect to share with you today. I call it the lone survivor of lone survivors. Okay, so this is like the ultimate lone survivor. Okay, so we need 8 random cards for this effect. So let me just shuffle maybe a third time. That's probably enough. So I'll just deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be just fine. In fact, we probably should give these a mix as well, just to make sure we're above board here. Now, the idea of a lone survivor is often associated with 2 powerful shuffles. The first one is the Australian Down Under, and the other one is its close cousin, the Under Down. Now, the idea of the lone survivor just refers to what card survives the elimination process for those 2 shuffles. So what's the final card that's left in your hand, or the final card that's set down on top of the pile on the table? So that's the idea of the lone survivor. So we're going to perform both the under down and the down under, but you are given all of the choices here. So which of those 2 do you want as your shuffle, and I'll take the remaining one as mine? Do you want the down under as yours, or the under down? You want the under down as yours. Okay, that's fine. So I'll take the down under. So what I need you to do is tell me how many times we should perform the under down shuffle, which you've just chosen. And more importantly, you can decide whether you do your shuffling first, or should I do my shuffling first. You can decide on the order in which our shuffling happens. Okay, so extremely consequential. So how many times do you want the under-down shuffle performed, and do you want to go first or second? You want to go first? Okay, that's fine. Your choice, free choice. How many times should I do it? 3 times. Okay. Well, that's a bit of work, but we can do it. So we'll be showing you the idea of the lone survivor as we do this. So you want the under-down performed for a total of 3 times. Okay? So that's what I'm doing here. Now, the idea of the lone survivor is this card right here. So the lone survivor for the under-down deal that you asked me to perform is this card right here. But you didn't want me to stop there. You wanted me to do 2 more of these. Okay, that's fine. Here's second one coming up. That's fine. Okay, here's another lone survivor. Third time, third and final, thankfully. So under down. Very good. And then, of course, we'll have a third lone survivor, right? Whatever the card this is. Okay, and then you designated the down under as my shuffle to perform, and I'm to perform it second, which is what I'm doing. So maybe I'll do mine twice, so that we're not here all day. Okay, so how this one works is you go down first. So down, then under, down, under, down. But it will also have, quote, a lone survivor. It's the card at the very end. Okay, so that's the lone survivor there. Let's see, I said twice, I believe. Down, under, down, down, under, down, under, down, under, down. The last one goes on top. Okay. Well, I want you to think about it. You perform the under-down shuffle 3 times. So there's 3 lone survivors associated with those shuffles. And I performed the down under twice. So I kind of gave rise to 2 lone survivors. But the question is, who is the lone survivor of lone survivors? Meaning, who has survived the random application of the under-down deal performed the number of times you requested, followed by my assigned shuffle of down under twice. Which card was brought to the top? Who indeed is the king of lone survivors? Well, let's just take a look. Oh, okay, what's going on here? Okay, we've got to look at the cards here. I think I must have pulled out the wrong deck or something, but let's just take a look. Are there any other... This is crazy. Any other double back cards? I don't see any. I've always considered the lone survivor of lone survivors to be special, but I had no idea that it was this special. Wow. How did you just happen to choose a perfect sequence of choices regarding these two shuffles, which should be performed first, and the random choices we made in applying these shuffles different numbers of times, actually, as it worked out? So I think we have indeed proven that the lone survivor of lone survivors truly stands out as special. Whoa, how did we do that? Okay, so let me show you what's going on here and how to do it. Now, of course, you can have any card as the lone survivor. This could be a prediction card that you wrote down on a piece of paper. It could be a blank card. It could be a double back. It could be whatever you like, a joker. It could be a joker. Okay, so quickly, how did I do this? Well, first off, I had the double back card on top, and I just riffle shuffled and retained the top card on top. Okay, that's not too hard to do, to retain the very top card. Okay, so it's still there. And then I said I needed 8 random cards, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the key is the double back card is on the bottom right now. Now we need it on the top. A slick way to get it there is to perform the over, under, over, under, over, under, over. There it is. Okay. So we need it on top for this routine. And then let me just show you a write-up that will explain kind of the logic of what's going on. And then I'll even give you the dialogue that goes along with this performance that will keep you on track. Okay. So the first principle to share is the fact that for a packet of 2 to the n cards, so 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, we have 8 here. The top card will stay in the top position. The top card here is the special one, right? If we perform either this sequence of shuffles or this one. And if you notice, there's a symmetry here. So we can perform an even number of down-unders followed by any number of under-downs, or you can perform any number of under-downs followed by an even number of down-unders, and the top card will stay on the top. Okay, so the top card is a fixed point relative to both of these different orderings of carrying out these shuffles. So in some ways, the overall constraint is that one way or another, we want the spectator to choose the number of times the under-down deal is performed, because it can be any number, okay, for this to work, whereas the performer, one way or another, needs to somehow control the number of down-unders that are performed. Now, the order of these two doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is we need to perform an even number of down-unders and any number of under-downs. So let me just show you how you can do this no matter what the spectator gives as an answer. Okay, so let me just show you this here. So there are 2 possibilities, and they're both easy to accommodate. So ask the spectator which shuffle they want. You're giving them a free choice, and I gave you the choice. So the supposed choice that I assume you made is choice A here. So let's say they choose, or say that under-down is the one for them to perform. Then you just say, great, I'll take the down-under, which is what I did, and each of us can decide how many times our individual shuffles are performed. Okay, so that's key. Because they have the under-down as theirs, they can do it any number of times. You're safe. But because the down-under right now under this scenario is mine, I can choose any even number. So I just chose 2. That keeps me safe. And then I say, and most importantly, you, the spectator, get to decide the order in which we perform these shuffles. Now that seems like it's giving them choices that make a difference, but they don't, as I just mentioned here. It doesn't matter if we perform the down-under followed by the under-down, you know, the right number of times, or the under-down followed by the down-under. Top card is a fixed point. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so that supposed choice is really no choice at all. That makes a difference. Okay, so what do you do if they say they want the down-under? which is a possibility. It's like a 50-50 chance. No problem. Then you just reply, great, I'll take the under down. Okay, so spectator gets the down under, I get the under down. And then you say, and you, the spectator, get to decide how many times I perform my shuffle, and I'll decide how many times you, the spectator, performs your shuffle. But most importantly, you, the spectator, get to decide the order in which we perform these shuffles. Okay, so this is giving the illusion of just fairness and generosity, because most people would assume that order would make a difference. But as I point out here, it doesn't make a difference whether you do the down under first or second. Okay, and then of course, since I'm deciding how many times they perform the down under that they chose, I will of course just choose an even number of times. That's the key, just like I did in the option A here. Okay, so maybe I'll just say twice. Okay, and then they can choose to have me do this under down as many times as they like. And as we saw here, it doesn't make any difference for the under down. It can be any number of applications of that shuffle. Okay, so that's the effect. It's kind of a fun one because it's supposedly revealing the lone survivor of all lone survivors, because it's the card that survives just random applications of these two powerful shuffles, the down under and the under down, each of which give rise to their own lone survivor every time they're performed. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.